Welcome to
Every day it's macaroni.
I'm Joy Alfred Brand.
And I'm Juliette Connell, and we're the hosts of Everyday Macaroni, the podcast.
This podcast is a look at the lighter side of life, where we talk about our adventures as a modern blended family.
So sit back, relax,
And prepare to have your funny bone tickled. Welcome back to another episode of Everyday Macaroni. Hello. And again, if you haven't listened before, just so you know, these episodes are based on the recordings we have of the Monday night dinners with your parents who are in their 80s. Yep. And so this is kind of like a sandwich generation type of thing.
I know.
All right, so what's new with you? You got tennis elbow that's not tennis elbow?
Yeah, I got some tennis elbow on the small bits of exercise that I actually do. I hurt myself.
Well, that's why you don't exercise, Juliette. That solves that problem.
Well, I don't do weights very often. So, everyone's like, oh, no, weights are better. And the older you get, the weights are better than aerobics or any of that kind of cardio and whatnot. And I'm like, no.
Ooh, it's raining today. It's storming. And that's how it's going to be. So, all right. You got the tennis elbow or what is it, the weightlifter's elbow?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Well,
I was trying to...
Did I make my joke about not doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is the earliest we've ever recorded.
This is, yeah.
And we all know.
Yeah. Boy, when you texted me back, I was like, 8:30. Hallelujah. Joy, she's out of bed and ready to go.
Now, let's talk about this for a second. First of all, just because I'm not awake at 5 o'clock in the morning like all you people who are not normal doesn't mean that I'm a lounger and a loafer, because I'm not. It's just that I happen to be a night person instead of a morning person.
Right.
Where I do all my work at night when the house is quiet, because you know what's happening at, say, sometimes 7, sometimes 7:30 in the morning at your parents' house. Garage door opener's going up. And that's right under my bed. The dishwasher's being unloaded, and I can hear every clink of every dish and every fork.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the dog starts barking. I don't know what the dog is barking at, but the dog is barking.
Yeah. Probably at all the noise.
Probably. So, consequently, what's happening to me? I am wide awake at 7:30. And so... I'm figuring this morning...
welcome, Joy, to the morning.
Don't get used to it. Because a leopard doesn't change its spots. I'm just saying. I had to go get myself a big old cup of punch-you-in-the-eye coffee. And Ron took your dad to dialysis. Because actually today's Memorial Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
And in recognition of all those who serve, thank you for your service.
Yep.
And, there's so much to talk about today. So much to talk about. Oh, boy. There's a lot going on. And most of it involves failure to communicate.
Well.
Failure to communicate. A lot of that going on.
There's always a lot of that going on.
Yes. So your dad changed the time for his dialysis seat today.
Right.
Normally he rides the carts bus, which, by the way, if you carts people are listening, you guys are awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
you guys rock.
Thank you for everything you do.
Every single one of your drivers, awesome people.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you for everything you do. We really, really appreciate it. That's a great service, which helps us out so much. Could you imagine if we had no carts bus?
Yeah. I don't.
That would be a nightmare.
I don't even know what we'd be doing.
I don't know. So thank you for the carts bus. We really, really appreciate it. Oh, yeah. All these people are so nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And that is a huge
so
help.
Professional, so accommodating, and just really, really kind-hearted people.
Decent people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, the receptionist there, very, very nice. She said, did he tell you that he's changed his seat time on Monday for 6:45? I said, you know what? He's talked to my husband about it. I'm not 100% sure. And I thought to myself,
You know what's really sad is he told me. Which is really weird. So I just had assumed that he had told you or Ron, considering, you live there. But he had said something to that effect. He didn't tell me exactly when, because he had said, I'm going to try to do it earlier so that we can get this out of the way. And no one on Memorial Day is picking me up at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon or something. So I was like, all right. And that was kind of it. but I didn't know 6, 8. I didn't know.
Well, Ron, not knowing that he had changed the seat time, made plans for this morning.
Oh.
And so on Friday, when we were having dinner, your dad said, yeah, I changed the time for the seat on Monday. And Ron said, what? He said, yeah, I got to be there at 6:45. And just kind of like announcing it, you know? And Ron was like, oh, all right, that's fine. I wish you had told me because I made some plans and yada yada. And your dad's just like, too late.
Oh, jeez.
It's funny how there's like a lack of communication, except for dun, 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 your mother. She's always communicating.
Yeah.
The difference there is it's not really conveying information. It's just yappity yappity yapping.
Right.
So did you know that we are now able to watch European TV in your parents' downstairs? Because Ron installed...
You always?
No. Ron installed a couple of Ring cameras in the... Well, one in the kitchen and one in the living room.
Oh, you mean like, my
Security
parents.
cameras, right.
Oh, security cameras. I see.
So-
So you were saying European TV. I'm like,
It is.
yeah, we've
It's
been
like
watching.
European TV. It's like watching European TV. It is. So, well, first of all, understand we put them there for security purposes because we're out of the house a lot and we want to be able to check in and make sure everybody's okay. It's a safety issue.
Yeah.
And it's not like we put one in the bathroom or anything like that. Although I wish there was a way we could do that without compromising their privacy because I think that's going to be the most dangerous spot for them to be.
Probably the door to the bathroom. If you put it towards the hallway of the door, then you can see it. Because if my dad's in there now, if you notice, he leaves the door open just in case something happens.
He's left the door open ever since I've been going there for Monday Night Family Dinner, even when he used the hall bath.
Oh.
And now, one time, he was in there rattling around doing something, and Ron was already in bed, and he looked at me, and I said, okay, I'll go down and check, because I still had, shorts and a T-shirt on. And I walked down the stairs, back around the kitchen, down into the hallway, and I peeked around the hallway, and your dad was walking around in his socks and a diaper. And I instantly went blind for a couple of seconds there, and I just can't even get that vision out of my head ever. He had a T-shirt on.
Yeah.
And it was just, I came back out. And Ron's like, everything okay? Asking me, is everything okay with the 2 thumbs up? And I'm like, I mean, yes, everything's okay. But now I have my eyeballs burned out by the sight of your dad walking around in a T-shirt, diaper, and socks. Poor fella. And so that's his area back there.
Yeah.
I try not to go down there because I know he leaves that door open.
Yeah.
And partly, I think it is because of a safety issue. That way he can holler
And not
out.
only that, you can see the walker there. So it doesn't quite fit. It makes everything too cumbersome in the bathroom. So what he'll do is he'll back up into the bathroom and then leave the walker right outside of the door and then use the facility and then walk back out. So if you had a camera going down the hallway, you'd be able to see the light and the walker there. And then you could time how long he was there. So if he was there, let's say, and you check in a half hour later and it's still happening, then...
Yes, but that camera could also have a view into his room. And you can see him. You see what I'm saying?
I see, yeah.
You could see him because that's basically what you're saying is what I did when I went down there to check and make sure he was okay. And there he was standing there and getting in his closet or whatever. I don't know. Oh, boy. That was something.
Yeah.
Walking around in his socks and his diaper. Poor fella. But I will say this. His legs are super skinny now.
They always were.
Really? Wow.
He always had super skinny legs.
Well, they're super skinny now. Yeah, but that was an unfortunate... I really did not have to see that. So anyway, I try not to go back there, but a camera back there in some way would not be necessarily a bad thing. Yeah. But I don't want to compromise the privacy at all. But there's now a camera on the mantle pointing to the front door.
Oh, okay.
So on the left-hand side of the mantle. So we can see both of them as they snooze in their chairs.
Right.
And we can
Well, that might also be good for my mom, too, who never, ever touches the cell phone. If she ever needed anything, that maybe if she knew it was there, she'd be like, hello.
Well, I particularly appreciate it because I can just pop on there, and I think he sent you the link too, so you can install it on your phone and you can even look in there. That way we can all look in and
Monitor.
make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
And then the other one initially he put it on top of the refrigerator. Now it's on the corner of the cabinet, kind of pointed down, so you get a better view of the whole kitchen.
Yeah.
So both of them have sound capability, but the one that's right next to the TV on the mantle, that's usually drowned out by their
TV.
10,000 decibel television going. But the one in the kitchen, normally when we're in there having dinner or whatever, you can hear what we're talking about and that kind of thing, which actually is a wonderful thing because your mother says some of the funniest things. She really does. I'm going to see if I can download some of that video and put it on the YouTube channel just for fun. So Ron installed that camera, and the first night he installed it, he's up there checking it out and looking at it and seeing, hey, what's going on? And here comes your dad. And it's kind of like watching the ape enclosure at the zoo. Here comes your dad. And he walks into the kitchen, opens the refrigerator, and you can see just in the bottom of the frame, you can see him take out a packet of cheese and start peeling slices off and just stuffing them in his mouth, like eating cheese. And Ron's like, look at that. He's eating cheese. I told him not to be eating the cheese. And he's in there, eating cheese. It's pretty funny. But that's European TV. That's what I'm talking about.
Nice.
Ron's like, hey, look, this is like European TV. It's either that or watching the ape enclosure at the zoo, which is not really an ape. It's more like grape ape, like grape ape's great grandfather walking around and just trying to eat a few nuts here and there or do whatever in the kitchen. And so that's pretty funny. And now I think it's going to create a little bit more content because I just don't have the time to do all the videos and all that stuff too. I just, right now, getting the podcast out twice a month, that's all I can get done right now. There's just too much going on. So I'm going to see if I can download some of that video and put it on the YouTube channel just for fun. Just because I think it's fun. It is funny. And the thing about video from the dinners is your mother, she just can't be there and not talk. Right? She's got to talk about something. And sometimes what she's talking about is your dad, he'll eat something and he'll have a little something around the mouth and she'll say, Aldo, wipe your mouth. I have to look at that. You need to wipe your mouth. So that'll be entertaining just for the fun of it. That's all I'll say about that. Okay. So lately we haven't been doing a lot of Monday night family dinners. For a lot of different reasons. Monday night falls on a dialysis day. And so sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Right.
Sometimes it's just too many moving parts and we're not able to pull it all together. But when we are having Monday night family dinners, the conversation is still pretty funny. What is that noise? Is that you?
That?
What is that?
It's me moving my foot.
Wow, Juliet, I think you need to get a pedicure, man. Those feet are like sandpaper on the carpet. Wow, you're going to rub a bald spot in my carpet there. Boy. This is particularly funny because we do spend a lot of time talking about toes and toenails lately.
I know.
At Monday Night Family Dinner. We've already done one whole podcast episode practically about your mother's toenails.
That's right.
And we're not done talking about it. We got to keep talking about that because some more funny things have happened. But I got sidetracked because of your sandpaper foot on the carpet. Wow.
Wait, what was that?
What's that noise? Gee, it sounds like a belt sander. So we have been having Monday night dinners here intermittently, here and there.
Right.
And when we do have the Monday night family dinners, we still have funny conversation. The conversation's funny. It's just there's less of it.
Right.
And it's harder to isolate clips.
Right.
Right?
Well, we're also there for less of a period of time.
Well,
because I used to get there at 4 o'clock.
You're there for less period of time.
Because I used to get there at 4 o'clock. So from 4 to 6, that was the 2 hours. But now my dad doesn't get home till 5, and then we don't get our act together until like 5:15,
5:30,
or whatever,
yeah.
5:30 till we're sitting there, and I still have to get home, fix what I'm going to fix for the following day, or see Ken before he goes to bed.
Right.
So
Well,
it's been cut short.
And also, you guys do the pills on Mondays.
Right.
And so that's a whole ordeal in and of itself, those pills.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
First of all, now both of them have pill containers. Pill, I guess, tenders, you would call them. And they are...
They've got like 20 pills to eat. Well, my dad has 20. My mom probably has about, I don't know, 10 or 11
a day.
Different pills that you have to give. You're like,
at different times during the day.
Different times.
Yeah.
Some are multiple times a day. So I just got to keep my
wits about you while you're doing the pills. It's an ordeal to do the pills.
It really is.
Yes. And then we kind of have to coordinate because sometimes they're running out of pills. And so we have to coordinate, this pill needs to be refilled and yada yada and all that kind of stuff.
There's only 6 and we're going to need 7 for next week.
Right.
So you got to fill it this weekend before I come back. That whole thing. So
it's a ordeal. And
it really is.
That takes a while to do, actually, because you got to go and you got to get the pills out of the pill closet. Which also, did you notice your mother? She cleaned out a bunch of those vitamins.
Oh, good.
I didn't get a picture of it before she cleaned them out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But she had 2 fairly deep shelves full of vitamins, and she went to see the doctor, and she had actually herself written down all the vitamins she had and asked the doctor, which ones should I take, which ones should I not take? And the doctor told her, well, here's what I think you should be taking, and here's what I think you should not be taking. And one of them is Boswellia.
Oh, that she should not?
No. Oh, boy, here we go again. The doctor didn't say, don't take that. What the doctor said is it's not doing anything for you, right? And so, actually, the very first clip that I have recorded for today is us discussing the Boswellia. And
that's like the, tell me what to do, but don't tell me what to do.
That's right. That's exactly right. And what's funny about this is your mother, she wants to take it because in her mind, and her memory is going. We're going to talk about that too at some point. And I know that kind of terrifies her. But in her mind, in the past, she remembers a time when she was having some kind of difficulty and she took the Boswellia extract and she feels like it helped her. In her mind, it acted like a pharmaceutical. And so she insists that she wants to keep taking it. And I don't know, the doctor didn't say don't take any of this stuff. The doctor just said you don't need to take it because I don't think it's doing anything for you. Well, Monday, you guys are in the kitchen talking about the Boswellia. And so the first part of the clip is a little faint because you are in the kitchen and I'm already at the table with Al, right? Okay. And I make a joke that Al actually laughs at. So here's the first clip.
No.
All right, Mom, you know that.
Okay, for a second there, I just thought my mom came here. I was like, what?
What?
I was in a big mess years back.
Okay, so you heard what she said. She said, I was in a big mess years back.
Right.
Because she's insisting. She gets stuck in her way.
Right.
And
yeah,
it has
they
to
all
be.
do.
Well, we all do, I guess. But it has to be that way, right? And it's just like, whatever. Okay.
I was sitting here doing the pills, and then I'm doing the pills.
And you're focused on that. And here she comes, and she's
like, oh, no, you have to put this in. Or I can't remember exactly what it was. But the Boswellia is not on the list of stuff.
Right.
So, of course, now I'm like, if someone needs me to put this, I'm referring to this list.
Right.
I need it to be on the list. And
she doesn't, Ron doesn't want it in the box.
Right.
Yeah.
So she, I guess, puts it in the box herself. But so I was kind of sidetracked or whatever.
Right.
Anyway, so I said, well, if you want me to put it in there, you have to put it on the list. And she's like,
she has to explain.
Right. Then she has to explain why she's taking it. And at that point, I have to be so concentrated on where I am because if you stop me in the middle of the week, all those pills and just pharmaceuticals over there, stop doing the white pills already that are oblong because they are all
they
white
look the same
and oblong. And then, of course, you've got the only one that's good is Tylenol because they actually put Tylenol on there. But the other ones are like some sort of weird number or whatever. And you're just like, okay,
and
did I put it in for Wednesday? When did I stop?
A mistake.
Right.
You don't want to make a mistake, yeah.
So anyway, so she's like, well, I took that. I don't care. I don't care. You're going to stop me and right mid-week and I'm not going to know where to go.
Right.
I don't care. You don't want it? Fine. Or you want it? Great.
Right.
So that's what that
what was going on,
conversation
right.
was going on over there.
And so we keep going for a second. So she said that to you, and then she starts coming into the dining room with her plate.
Uh-huh.
And I'm already at the table, and she's still explaining.
It's good for me. So I'm going to take my calcium and my boswellia. I was in therapy for a long time.
Like for your brain?
Not for my brain. My brain is a healthy and smushy one.
I'm just saying.
Listen,
Okay, so did you hear? She comes into the dining room.
I know, I can see her.
I'm going to take it because she's still explaining, right? Because she's still stuck in that track, right? And I was in therapy, and I said, like for your brain, and your dad started laughing. Anyway, so I thought that was a funny joke, and I was just trying to move the conversation along because she gets stuck on that one thing, and then it keeps going. And I try to distract her, almost like a kid.
Yeah.
I try to distract her, and that way...
Hey, look, puppy!
Right, we can move on past it, right? So she chuckles at the joke because that's the way I manage the situation, generally speaking. Whatever's going on, I'm going to try to make a joke out of it because it diffuses the tension.
Right.
Lately, there's a lot of tension going on. And you can kind of understand that when you're trying to manage a whole new situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're trying to...
And for them, it's difficult because now they're sick or things have changed.
Right. They don't get to be themselves all the time because things have changed. You can't eat whatever you want. You've got to be more careful moving around the house. You've got to do these kinds of things. And so they are very, very independent people. Very. And it's hard for them to... adjust that. Yeah. So that's a little bit of what's going on there. And it has taken a long time to adjust. Yeah. So there we are at dinner, and she comes in. I'm trying to diffuse her from being irritated that she doesn't get to explain herself all the way. And I make the joke about therapy, and your dad left. And I thought it was pretty funny, too. But it's just me. So normally we talk about the food, and the food continues to be extremely, extremely bland. Extremely. But your mother loves it. She thinks it's the greatest thing. She does. Oh, this is delicious. Oh, it's so good. I don't need the salt. No, it's so good. Oh. And Ron, you cook it. Oh, you are magnificent. You cook it. Oh, it's so great. Yes. And I'm sitting there eating it, and it's like... Yeah. It's like that scene in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation where they're dipping the turkey in the water glass. Oh, yeah. I keep trying to make things better, diffuse the situation by making the jokes. And one of the things I do is I tease Al about getting on the school bus whenever he's got to get on the dialysis bus. Yeah. I tease him about it. And we have a clip about that, too.
I've actually thought of taking like a Post-it whenever I have something to say to the people that are there and like pinning it to his shirt. I'm like, how am I going to get this message to them?
Like you would with a kid, right?
With a kid, yeah. Message to his teacher or something.
Did you do that for your own children?
No.
No?
No.
Because by then you had email, right?
Right, I had email.
Did your mother do that to you? Did she pin stuff to you so that the teacher would know?
No. I can't remember.
I mean, you would do that for a little kid, which actually that's appropriate.
Kid, yeah, a little kid, yeah.
That's
especially
appropriate.
When you have to send in money or something, you have to do something, but...
Yeah, well, that's like we're all trying to figure out how to get ready to go to the beach because he's got to have dialysis.
And that's what I wanted to pin to his lapel, right? It was like the address and, hey, any word yet? Because I'm waiting to see if the dialysis can get us another seat somewhere close to the beach so that he can go. But I was just like, oh, boy. They're like, no, it's too early. Too early. That's the point. You should put it in now.
Yeah, get ready for it.
Because in August, everybody goes to the beach. So I would imagine that that's when it's going to start piling up. But they know their deal, so.
Did you ever make your kid memorize the phone number? Like sing a song and memorize the phone number?
Oh, their phone number? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he doesn't know his mobile phone number. And I took him to the butcher this weekend. So Saturday, your dad's on his little bike machine. And I said, okay, if you're ready, whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and I'll take you to the butcher. And I'm thinking, oh, he'll stand up and get his shoes or whatever. He said, no, let me finish my little exercise here. I'm like, okay, take your time. No problem. No problem. Which, you know what? He does need to do the exercise. So that's fine. I can wait. So I wait until he's done, however long it is, 10, 15 minutes. And then he gets himself up and gets his shoes and gets in the car. We go to the butcher. Well, we go there. And he's looking at the meat in the case like it's a new pair of shoes for me. You know what I mean? He's looking at that like I look at the shoe display at whatever department store I'm in.
Right.
And so he bought all kinds of meat, like flank steak and the steak you cut up to make sirloin tips and short ribs, all kinds of meat. And so we go to the checkout and the guy's checking us out and he goes, if you're a rewards member, you can put your phone number in and we can look you up by your phone number. And I guess your dad's been there a few times. And he says, put your mobile number in there. And he says, okay. And he looks at it for a second and then he kind of looks at me. He doesn't know his phone number. So I leaned over and I just punched it in. I know it by heart now because that's what we use to find out what time the bus is coming. The carts bus. Right. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, singing the song, right? 9919. You know, I'm thinking maybe it's time we teach him the song. Okay. Right? That's funny. And he's calling you to find out what time the bus is coming. Every morning he calls you. Even though I've told him I'm calling the night before and I'm writing it on the board. So it's funny because I'm right upstairs.
Right.
And instead of saying, Joy, what time is the bus coming? He calls you on the phone.
Well, because he knows that I'm awake and already working.
Well, that's true.
So I think that's why. He doesn't want to bother because he doesn't know if you're awake or not.
Well, I'm awake because he's already opened the garage door at 7 o'clock so he could take the dog out, right? And the oh, yeah. So he's calling you, and I told you, I heard him say, hey, Jewel, what time is the bus coming? And I'm thinking to myself, I told him, I wrote it on the board above the phone. So if we keep redirecting him to the board, maybe he'll eventually get there and just stop and look at it. And then what he says to me is he says, I told him, I said, you can look at the board. I've written the time for the bus on the board. I do it the night before. Usually at dinner, I'll call and I'll write it there. And he says, yeah, well, I didn't know if it was for today or for some other day. And I said, that's why I write the day and then the date right next to it. You know? Yeah. It's funny. They are like kids. They're like, I don't know my phone number. I need to have my note pinned to my lapel. Yeah, I'm going to have my mittens on a string through my jacket. Yeah, it's funny. And that's one of the reasons why I tease him about getting on the school bus when he's getting on the carts bus to go to dialysis. And so here is the clip where we're talking about me teasing him about the school bus.
How about your day, Nenu? All right.
He had a pop quiz in algebra.
I never went that far.
I did make the bus driver laugh, though, when he got off the bus. And I asked him, did you have a good day at school? She started laughing.
They're nice.
Yeah.
They're nice. They're friendly, you know.
Do you remember when we were putting him on the bus the first couple of times, and I was like, okay, well, have a good day at school.
Yeah.
And the one bus driver, she was like, you guys are bad.
I know, she did.
That was funny. But so I do try to make jokes, and I try to lighten the mood a little bit, because otherwise your dad, he's miserable. So I try to make jokes about that. It's always entertaining and interesting to see what your mother has to say.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to go off on some tangent. It's kind of like a drunk monkey. The monkey's drunk, and it's just going to drive all over the road. You never know what she's going to say, but she's always going to be in there saying something crazy.
Wasn't there a song, The Monkey Gets Drunk, something?
Oh, no.
Isn't that?
No.
Yeah. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. I can't. I don't think it's The Monkey Gets Drunk. What song is that? Oh, my God. Juliet. But yeah, it's kind of the same thing. You never know what she's going to say. You really don't.
Yeah.
And then she goes on and she says something like this.
Ivan worked all day like a professional.
He's a professional.
Mm-hmm. And the work is
Maybe
there.
overcooked. Or have some of the...
The work is there to see it.
Yeah.
What?
The work is there to see it. So Ron, he's trying to do little jobs around the house.
Oh.
And try to make things a little more accessible or whatever. Like, he took that light out and put the ceiling fan over the kitchen table. And that's what she's talking about. But he took the fan out. And the reason he took the fan out is because it's so freaking hot in there. It's hot in there all the time. It's like an oven.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hot in there that we have to have the fan over the kitchen table because that's normally where we sit and eat. Your parents sit at the island and we sit at the kitchen table.
Gotcha.
Because we can't stand it. It's like an oven in there. And I'm 52. It's just horrible. And even Ron, who's got the body fat of there's no body fat, right? And he's usually cold all the time. He's like, I can't. He's sweating himself. He's like, I can't stand this. So he put the ceiling fan over the kitchen table, that big, huge light. And so he took that down, and now that's at Habitat for Humanity where everything else is. But it's gone, and he's doing all these like little jobs here and there. And your mother, she's talking about it like it's Norm Abrams, you know, like he's a master craftsman. You never know what she's going to say. She's always going to say something. Okay. I'm trying to wear contact lenses now whenever I'm podcasting because the lights glare my glasses, and I find it irritating when I'm editing the video.
Yeah. And even the polarized too, or that, what is it?
It's got a coating on it or
scratch-proof
something.
It makes it blue. Yeah.
Still, you can still see it. Because I have a pair like that, you can still see it. It's irritating. All right, so I saved the best for last. We have those little pockets of conversation during Monday night family dinner, and they're the reason why I think we do this podcast, because they're so funny. But they're few and far between these days. And so I saved the best sort of chunk of conversation for last here. And it starts off because one of the things we routinely do is we check each other when we say something wrong. And so you're the one on the hot seat.
Oh, God.
First up, you're the one on the hot seat. But don't worry, Ron gets it in the end. Okay, so we start off with this little conversation about somebody who's on our periphery, let's just say. This is my personal favorite.
On top of the medal.
It's not a chest pin, it's a medal.
Oh, a medal. You get medals in the army too, or the military.
Oh.
And then you hang them. Still.
What are you going to say about that?
Like
Nothing? You're not going to correct that?
No, 'cause
medal,
it's not
the
worth
medal
it.
of valor, and you pin it. It's not a. It's
28
not
years,
wearable.
she still doesn't get it.
Who, me?
What?
Not me. I know.
What?
Medals hang.
She used to be in the military too.
No, she wasn't.
In South New Jersey.
Civil Air
South
Patrol?
New Jersey.
Yes.
That's not the
Not the
military.
military.
No, Civil Air
No, it's not the
Patrol.
military. It's the civil. It's civilian. It's not
Uh,
military.
Close enough.
It's an
Close
auxiliary of
enough.
the Air Force.
Close enough.
Close enough.
That's
It's
still
still
technically
civilian.
not the military.
No, of course not.
Neither is ROTC, right?
You're not a sworn
It's not
GI
military.
where you have a commitment. Okay, so your mother thinks you were in the military,
I know.
just so you know,
Yeah.
because you were in Civil Air Patrol in high school.
Right.
Ah, that's entertaining. You can't buy entertainment like that. She lives in her
You
own
know,
world.
it's the same. I'm like, nah, not really.
Oh, not well. She lives in her own world.
Yeah.
Totally in her own world. It's a bizarre. But we keep going, and there's more.
Oh boy.
I hope her diploma has summa cum there.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Yeah. Because apparently some don't, some do. Mine did, so thank God. It's teeny tiny, but it's on there. I was like,
You could just get a stamp. Just put it on there.
Just get a stamp.
I would. Or get a picture frame, and then on the matting have summa cum laude, alpha, tau, epsilon.
Keep going. What's the ultimate goal here?
the funny thing is,
Alpha,
they
beta,
have.
gamma, delta,
Oh
epsilon,
my God.
theta, eta, zeta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, psi,
Upsilon?
omega. Upsilon.
That's the stupid they have to learn when they're in fraternity.
Dude,
Now,
that's the
here's the
Greek
question.
alphabet. Really.
Yes, I know. I know it is.
Wow. Okay. Can you do it in Morse code?
It's gonna take a while.
You need some horns to honk with your nose.
Get my beer.
Very funny.
Oops, alone.
Oops, Alon is right.
Marines. They're crazy.
Maureen's.
Marines.
For so
I
many
thought she
years,
was
they
going
both
to
get
say
it wrong.
morons, and then she came up with, I'm like, no.
Maureen, I gotta tell Maureen you said that. Maureen's are crazy. Yeah, she's trying to say Marines.
Right.
Not
Marines are
Maureen's.
crazy, yeah.
I thought the whole exchange was pretty funny.
Maureen.
Maureen's are crazy. Yes, and there's Ron barking the Greek alphabet and Morse code. You can't buy entertainment like that, people, just so you know. We had, okay, there's Ron. He's, barking the Greek alphabet there because we're high-minded like that. We discuss civilized topics like the Greek alphabet at Monday Night Family Dinner.
Right.
All I can see in my mind is like him dressed like a seal, honking the horns, Okay, so I don't even know if it would be possible to do the Greek alphabet and Morse code. I don't know. But
No clue. All I could think of is, oh my gosh, because he obviously had it memorized in a song kind of thing, And I could only think of
Animal
Erin.
House.
No, I was thinking of Erin when she used to know all the presidents, and she knew them by some sort of picture that they did at first, and then she knew them all, and it was just like da 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 da, and he's going on and on and on and on. I'm just like, oh my god.
Isn't there one for the kings of England too?
Yeah, there might be.
And if your dad could just learn his phone number song, then
That would be good.
we'd be batting 1,000, right? Those are the highbrow things we talk about around the dinner table. And we have one last thing that I think it's important for everyone to hear is an update about your toe situation.
Oh gosh.
We got to talk about that just for a minute because, Frankentoe has been with us for a little over a year now.
Yeah.
But it's doing much better. So anyone who's concerned about the Frankentoe, it's so much better. However, we did have a little bit of a funny discussion about it. And this is the swan song to this podcast episode. Enjoy.
Stop
Oh, yeah.
touching my feet.
What? How am I touching your feet? Your feet are not near me.
I don't
It's
think that's
probably
right.
the dog.
No, it's her. It's her. And every time she does it, I gotta go now put rubbing alcohol on my
Oh,
feet.
please.
Because I don't want to.
It's dead, idiot. It's dead. I
What?
took medicine for
Frankentoe? The Frankentoe's better?
The Frankentoe is better.
Is it
It's
gone?
just- no.
It's just funny how we're calling it that now.
What's the matter?
See? It's
Don't
got
put it
that
near
little-
me.
It's dead. It's gone. It's not growing anymore. It's just I have to wait for it to grow out while I'm cutting it.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you really sanitize that, honey. We get in the same bed. You need to sanitize that. I just washed the sheets.
Better watch yourself. So I'm gonna go upstairs and rub my toe on your pillowcases.
Rub it on his pillowcase.
I'm gonna rub it inside his shoe.
Ugh. Did you hear that, honey?
I don't know. I want to get what she has.
I'm gonna rub it all over your socks
I
upstairs.
don't want to get what he has or you have. It's maybe hereditary.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
See? She makes fun of your toes. Now you can make fun of hers. Go ahead. Show them.
Oh,
Show
Nothing. It's just yellow.
Show him
It's-
the monster.
It's like the tip of the toe the toenail is a little bit yellow. And I've been growing it out. The whole toe was yellow, and now it's just at the bottom now.
That's the way his
So I
are.
have to cut it.
All right. That's all I got for today.
Oh my god.
We end on a high note talking about Juliet's Frankentoe. And there's more toenail talk coming. So stay tuned for the next episode because the theme this spring, early summer here, appears to be toenails.
Toenails. Yeah.
So here comes the next one. Thanks for listening and for checking us out. Go watch the YouTube video and be on the lookout for European TV videos showing up at some point. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed listening and sharing a laugh or two with us. Stay tuned for more everyday macaroni adventures on future podcast episodes. And if you want to see some pictures of us, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching at #everydaymacaroni or #everydaymacaroni. And now you can also watch us on YouTube. Just search Everyday Macaroni and our new channel will pop up. If you want to shop for some fun macaroni merch, head over to everydaymacaroni.com. Don't forget, if you have a blended family story to share, email us at info@everydaymacaroni.com and put the word share in the subject line. You can also call us on our Macaroni Fun Phone at 919-729-2043. Your story might end up on a future episode, and how fun would that be? Super fun. Finally, don't forget to give us a good review and download your favorite episodes. A share would be nice too. The more interaction we get for the podcast, the more episodes we can post. Again, thanks for listening, and join us for the next episode of